Welcome to Riding Counsel with Rich Jaffe, where the open road meets expert advice. I'm Richard Jaffe, an attorney and biking enthusiast, and this is the podcast where we dive into the world of motorcycling, safety, culture, charitable giving, and riding right. So, whether you're a seasoned rider or just getting started, let's talk bikes, the road, and everything in between. Let's ride! What's up, everybody? Hello, everyone out there in ridingcounsel.com podcast land. I am your host, Rich Jaffe, Richard Jaffe. I am at ridingcounsel.com. I am a lawyer handling personal injury accidents, especially for motorcycle accident victims. I am a podcaster, and I am a motorcycle enthusiast. And today, I have some really great stuff. Before I get into it, I want to introduce my co-host here is Millian. How you doing today, Millian?
Doing awesome today. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us. We appreciate you. And you're going to put me on the spot today, aren't you?
I definitely am. I want to help everyone out there. I want you to pass the written portion of your test to get your motorcycle endorsement for your license. So I'm going to actually help you do that. And I'm going to do that with questions that allegedly could be possibly actual questions from the test. They may or may not be, but I don't know. But I'm going to help you because we're going to go over the questions, the answers, and unfortunately it's going to be at the perhaps embarrassment of my friend Millian, who's going to take the test with us.
Let's do it.
And there's some really good reasoning here, so let's jump into it. And I hope this helps you guys. All right, so let's go with the very first question. Okay. The most effective way to stop quickly is to A, use both brakes simultaneously in a straight line. B, use only the front brakes. C, use only the rear brake. D, engine brake.
Okay. Now,
which is it going to be?
All right. Now you're the grizzled veteran. I'm the rookie here. All right. I'm going to say
it sounds simple. It sounds simple, but it might not be. It might not be.
All right. I'm going to go with A, both simultaneously in a straight line.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. And that is the right answer. That is the right answer. Thank you very much. But it's important because there's a lot of confusion, especially with people who are getting into motorcycling, whether to use the front brake, rear brake, engine brake. Engine braking is actually a way to brake, to slow your bike down. Okay. But it's not the most effective way to do that. And also it's really important to note that this says use both brakes simultaneously in a straight line. So if you're like on a curve, you got to straighten up your bike before you start braking. And that's a really important point, because if you're motorcycling and you're around a curve and you try to brake and you're on a curve, there's going to be some problems. And that's caused by a lot of things that I don't know if we really have time to get into here, but I will tell you that you don't want to brake in a curve without straightening up your motorcycle.
Yeah, my initial thought is that, front, rear, it's like a lever. It's like physics, right? We're going to have everything in a straight line simultaneously. That's the quick way to stop, is how I looked at it.
Yes. All right. So that was sort of easy. So let's go to the next one. Okay. All right. Next question. When riding within a group,
okay,
the inexperienced rider is usually where? At the tail end of the group, A. B, in front of the group. C, in the middle of the group. D, behind the leader of the group.
Okay. This is most likely going to be me, so I should probably know this one.
Think about this.
Okay. I'm going to follow the leader. I think I'm going to go with D.
Which one? D?
D. Follow the leader.
Behind the leader of the group. But why not in the middle of the group?
Well, because I guess it depends how many people there are. If I kind of sway or go offside, I'm going to knock people down like dominoes. So I may want to just kind of keep my distance from everybody else and just kind of just follow the leader guy.
So your final answer is?
I'm going to go with D.
D, behind the leader of the group.
Yeah, follow the leader like this.
Yes! And you have a good answer here. And one of the reasons why you want to be behind the leader of the group is because the leader of the group, first of all, can keep an eye on you, right? By just looking at your rearview mirror. Second, the leader of the group is the one who sets the pace of the group. Now, everyone, I mean, there's a saying, in when you're riding your motorcycles, ride your ride, right? Ride your own ride. You can't ride somebody else's. So if somebody else might be riding really aggressively, taking turns way, faster than you can, don't try to keep up with that rider. Okay. I mean, it's okay to push your limits, but stay within your limits. And if you're not riding as fast as the leader is, well, the leader is going to know that right away if you're riding right behind the leader. So that's why it's important. And if it's in the middle of the group, it's just going to split the group up and things are going to go bad. And especially not in front of the group, because you can't ride in front of the group if you're inexperienced, because then you're going to lead people down like a dead end, and that will be bad.
Okay.
All right. So let's take this off the screen. Let's go to the next question. What is going to be the next?
I'm doing pretty good here.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Next question.
Okay.
Counter steering in a normal speed turn means A, pushing the handlebar forward slightly in the direction you want to go. B, pushing the handlebar forward slightly in the opposite direction you want to go. C, pulling the handlebar toward you in the direction you want to go. Or D, pulling the handlebar toward you in the opposite direction you want to go.
All right, I spoke way too soon on that one.
What's it going to be?
Okay. All right.
Counter steering.
Counter says against. So I'm gonna say it's one of the opposites. I'm gonna go with. All right.
Counter.
I'm gonna go with B on this one. I'm gonna say you push the handlebar in the opposite direction you want to go to counter it. So I'm gonna go with B as my final answer, and I'm pretty sure I'm wrong.
All right, final. And no, that is not the final. That is not the correct answer. The correct answer is
right.
A, pushing the handlebar forward slightly in the direction you want to go. So this is a really tricky question, because I think it's really unclear.
Yeah.
But you really, if you're taking the test and you're going to run into questions about counter steering, you need to understand what counter steering is. So counter steering is counterintuitive. So if you're on the highway, let's say, and you're on your motorcycle and you want to go to the right, your right hand should push the handlebar, that handle, forward, okay, which kind of feels like you're steering the wheel to the left, and you're like, wait, I'm going to go left if I do that. But keep in mind that that's not counter steering. All right. So counter steering, if the wheel goes to the left, your bike is going to go to the right. And it has to do with forces of
it's like centrifugal force, isn't it?
Yeah, centrifugal force. It does have to do with
centrifugal, the whole deals.
Yeah, all the forces. So you really need. So if you want to go to the left and you're in motion, then you push the left handlebar. Okay, you push it forward. So just keep in mind, you really have to understand what counter steering is to understand all these questions. All right.
Okay.
All right. So you got one wrong. It's okay. It's okay.
We're good. I'm in the game. Still in the game here. I'm still passing.
Let's try another one. Whew. Okay. The next question. Which part of the lane is best lane position for being seen at the intersection? A, the middle part of the lane. B, there is no single best lane position. C, the left part of the lane. D, the right part of the lane. This is a tough question.
Okay.
This is a tough question.
All right. My thinking on this is that, okay, the question is about being seen. So I don't think it matters. I think you're going to be, no matter where you are in the lane, you're going to be seen equally. So I'm going to go with B. I don't think there is a best position.
B, is that your final answer?
Yes, sir, it is.
And yes, there is no single best lane position. Okay, intersections are always dangerous. Okay, but some things you could do, like let's say you're going down one lane, or even if it's two lanes in your direction, and there's somebody coming from right to left at an intersection, and you're approaching them. So when you're approaching them and you have one single headlight, it's very hard to tell depth perception for that driver. So what I do to help the driver see you is within the lane. Okay, I'm not saying swerve all over the place, but within the lane, you can go from the left part of the lane to the right part of the lane. As you approach that intersection, it really helps the driver actually get better depth perception as to where you are, so they don't leave earlier, they see you more, and they don't say, oh, I just didn't see you, when they crash into you and hit you, and you go down and all bad things happen. So that's just a little point of thinking.
So you just
All
want
right.
to set yourself up as best as you possibly can. Just give them as much data to work with.
Yeah, and cover the brake with your foot. All right, cover the brake, meaning covering the brake means don't press down on it. Okay, but have your foot ready to go, because part of that reaction time is the time that it takes from your foot to go from like the floorboard over to the brake. And if you could save a second, then it'll give you a much better chance to, stop in time
All right.
and, avoid the accident. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next question. The next question is threshold braking.
Yes.
What is threshold braking? Threshold braking means A, barely using the brakes, B, only using the front brake, C, only using the rear brake, or D, using both brakes progressively without locking either wheel.
I'm confident I got this one. Back in my young days, I did the auto cross driving training and the aggressive training and evasive stuff. And one of the first things they taught us was threshold braking, because you don't want your wheels locking out ever, because then you're out of control.
Yeah.
Bringing it right to the threshold without locking your wheels out. I got to go D on this one.
D, using both brakes progressively without locking either wheel. Is that your
Locking
final answer?
That's going to be my final. Can't lock the wheels out.
And
yes. I knew I had that one.
Yes. Okay. So threshold braking is definitely not barely using the brakes. Only using the front brake is kind of scary, because if you only use the front brake, you'll probably high side, meaning that it's a certain way of crashing. I don't even want to talk about crashing here. You can look up the term high side if you want. C is using only the rear brake. Again, probably you could do that, but that's not threshold braking. That is used to control your bike more. The correct answer is D, using both brakes progressively without locking either wheel. Okay. And plus, with ABS brakes, RDRS system, which is rider defense, I don't know, rear, it stands for something, but I know I have RDRS on my bike, 24 Road Glide. Thank you very much. And if you squeeze one of the brakes, it's also going to make the other brake basically interact with the brake that's being used. So you're not going to have any problems. Okay.
Do you have an issue with that, by the way? Like, some people don't like to have the vehicle have control. Would you like to rather not have that and have full control yourself, or do you like that?
Absolutely not. I like it. I have felt it once in a while, going around a curve, as a matter of fact, because sometimes I only use my rear brake to just like control the bike. If I feel like maybe I'm going a little too fast, or I just want to ride more in control, I hit my rear brake. But I do feel the front brake start to engage sometimes, not all the time. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And maybe it stopped me from skidding. I have absolutely no idea.
It just it got me thinking, because recently, like, I had a rental car, and apparently some of the new cars have like that lane assist where you're just kind of driving, and like the car will
that's what I hate. I hate that. I hate that.
I've been driving like 30 years. I can do this.
Right.
I'll handle it.
Right. I know what I'm doing.
I'll stay in my lane.
That's one of the functions on my car too. Like, if you can't switch lanes, it won't let you switch lanes unless you have the blinker on. Like, bro,
please just stop.
You're all up in my grill, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like that. So,
all right, anyway. So let's get to another question. Okay, now this is for you sporties out there on the sport bikes. On a sport bike, approximately how much of the total stopping power is provided by the rear brake?
Man,
this is actually tough because it's close. Okay, A, 10%, B, 30%, C, 50%, D, 80%. What will be your choice?
All right. I'm not a sports bike kind of guy. I don't know.
Yeah, sport bikes. Sport bikes are different than touring bikes in so many ways. So this is the shizzle.
Okay, here's my thought process. A sport bike has to be properly balanced a lot of times, because you're doing a lot of handling and all that stuff. So there's got to be, the physics, of course.
Right.
So I'm going to say it's got to be 50-50. So I'm going to go with C on this one. And that's my shot in the dark here.
Logically, I would say that's probably the logical answer. Is that the final answer?
It's going to have to be, yeah.
And You're terrible.
Was it
That
80?
is not the right answer. The correct answer is A, only 10%.
Really?
10%. Isn't that amazing?
What's the
So you do
thinking
have
there?
it's that's what I mean. Look, they say motorcycles are dangerous, right? But that's what makes
Yeah.
this really dangerous because when you're first riding a sport bike, you got to feel out the brakes. So,
Yeah.
your front brake is going to be way more stopping power than the rear brake.
Really? Okay.
But the rear brake is used the same way in as much as you can control the bike around a curve, and you definitely need it so you don't skid, but
Mhm.
definitely know what the hell you're doing. So,
Yeah.
on touring bikes, it's a little different. Touring bikes, it's a little different. You get more braking power in the back, but it has to do with mass and all this other stuff. I don't know. Too technical for me.
Ooh,
All right.
brutal.
Let's get to another question here. The next question, which may or may not appear on your test. Okay, I'm not saying it will, but you should know this nonetheless. Okay, and a lot of tests have this on there allegedly. Okay, the question is: if you are riding your motorcycle and encounter a threatening dog, you should A, kick at the dog, B, try to swerve around the dog, C, slow down when approaching the dog and then speed up, D, run over the dog.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a dog guy, so
Yeah.
let the jokes begin out there.
If it was a threatening cat, I guess it would be different.
Yeah, threatening cat. I'm not a cat guy. Threatening cat just. I probably lost half my listening.
So,
But
does
with
this
threatening cat,
happen often enough where it merits a test question?
yes, as a matter of
Really?
fact, it does. Like you'd be surprised because dogs can be scary. Like if you're riding around, right, and they hear the noise, maybe they're in the front yard or something like that. It can get kind of scary. The dog starts running towards you. What do? This is it. This is
If somebody has a pet
and
greyhound,
what's it gonna be? What's it
they got
gonna
a pet
be?
greyhound, you're in big trouble. All
Yeah,
right. My thought is we don't want to kick at the dog because we're going to take our foot off controls. We don't want to do that. Swerve around the dog. I don't know. When you're going a certain speed and you try to swerve, that could throw you off and throw off your physics, as we said earlier. So run over the dog. I don't know. We have a collision now. I don't know if that's good, especially if it's like a big dog, like like a Great Dane or something. That could get real
right,
ugly.
right.
So I think you have to slow down because then like the dog will come up to you and then you'd like speed away, like accelerate to get away from him, and then kind of give him like the little what do they call that, little rope a dope kind of thing.
Right,
I'm gonna
right,
go
right.
see on this. I'm gonna say you're rope a dope. I'm Sugar Ray Leonard style. See.
All right.
Final answer.
C, slow down when approaching the dog and then speed up.
Yeah.
And that is the answer.
Whew.
It is like if you see a dog that seems threatening, you're actually supposed to ride towards the dog at first. Okay, because the dog will freeze up. It won't lunge at you. So the dog will freeze up when it's sizing you up. And
Okay.
then you speed away. So you want to jelly leg the dog. So yeah, jelly leg. Yeah,
That's
jelly
nice.
leg the dog. And
Ooh.
that's the only safe way to do it. I mean, you don't want to kick at the dog. Don't run over the dog. If I find out you ran over the dog on purpose, then we're gonna have a problem. I will find you. To try to swerve around the dog, that's not going to help because the dog is faster probably than the motorcycle. And the dog's going to get caught in the wheels. No bueno.
Yeah.
So ride towards the dog, jelly leg him, make him freeze up, and then speed away. That's the answer.
I'm sweating like a dog in the motorcycle lane right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We're doing
All
good.
right. You're a dog. You're a doggy. You're a doggy.
Oh.
Okay. Do we do this one? Okay. This is a funky question. In a crash, the single biggest point of impact on a rider is the A, forehead, B, chin, C, temple, D, back of head.
God,
This
so many
could be
variables
tricky.
here.
This could be tricky. This
All right.
could be tricky for
I
all you
saw-
people. I'll give you sort of a hint. I'm going to give you sort of a hint on this one because it has to do. This is really touching on the fact that half helmets and full helmets are two different things. Half helmets and two different. Pressure is on.
Now you
Pressure
threw me
is
off
on.
on this one. Okay. Half
Pressure
helmets.
is on.
All right. Well, based on your clue, the only thing that's in a half helmet, the face erasers, as they're called, would be the chin. So let's go with B, chin. Wasn't my initial thought, but you kind of threw me one. I'm gonna go with B.
Yeah.
Final
Okay.
answer.
You're going with what number?
The chin, B. Final answer based on your hint.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I threw it away there. I threw it. It could have made it tougher. All right. Yeah, the chin, and that's why people who are proponents of helmets say that it's really important that you wear a full face helmet because obviously, half helmet just will not it doesn't cover the chin. So that's just people back of head now. Um, Chin is the biggest point of impact. I think it's something like 36% of accidents where the bikers leave the bike um, happens on the chin. All right, so we're a little pressed for time here because I want to get to the other questions, but I just all right. So let's see. Okay, we didn't do this one yet. The question is right before front contact of an obstacle the rider is going over, the rider should A, roll on or blip the throttle, B, roll off the throttle, C, apply the front brake, or D, apply the rear brake. So, like, this is like, let's say you're going over train tracks or something like that, and the train tracks, that cross the roadway are a little elevated, maybe an inch or something like that could be dangerous. That's this kind of situation. So, think about it.
Front contact. We have an obstacle coming at us. What we got to do? If we see it coming from the distance, we're gonna clearly want to slow down. I'm thinking we kind of roll off the throttle to maybe downshift, engine brake a little bit. I don't know if I'm thinking of that correctly. I'm gonna say B on this one. That'll be my final answer. But
Roll off the throttle. So you're saying slow down?
Yeah, because you can probably like downshift the gear, engine brake a little bit, and then have a little more time to slow down without like jamming the brakes.
All right, final answer?
Yeah, let's do it.
No.
Killing me, man.
Okay, the correct answer is actually, weirdly, A, roll on or blip the throttle.
Really?
And this is why. Because when you do that, okay, right before, like, think of it like a raised train track. If you blip the throttle like that, blipping the throttle means like, just like really quick, like not all the way, but if you do that, it will actually lift the front tire a little bit. Okay, I'm not saying do a wheelie, not do a full wheelie, but you want to extend out the shocks in the front. Hopefully you have shocks. All right, extend out the shocks and it lifts the wheel just a little bit, takes the pressure off. So right, and then you go over because if you hit it head on, then the bike might come to like a sudden stop, which would be bad. Number one, throwing you off the bike. Number two is you might get a flat tire. You definitely don't want that. So if you roll on, if you blip the throttle, that's the best way to do this.
That's a little confusing to me because what if the obstacle in the previous question is a Great Dane in the lane? Flip flop or
if it's a cat, then definitely accelerate.
So if it's like a piece of wood or something,
I'm not a cat guy. If it's a dog, then follow the prior advice. Dogs,
right.
I love dogs.
Trick question, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, do no harm to dogs. Do no harm to dogs.
I'm with you.
But all right, those are some questions. I think we got through like 10 of them.
Hold on. I was keeping track. 6, 7. We got through 9 of them. I got 6 of them right. Did I pass?
All right. Well, that's actually pretty good, but we want you to pass all of them. And hopefully people will like take a look at this. You could review it. You could play it back. And if you have any questions about, these questions and answers, you can always tell me. You can always get in touch with me also through ridingcounsel.com, ridingcounsel.com. Like this, subscribe, share, do me a favor. And if you want to see something specific, if you want more questions like this, okay, I can help you with more questions. We'll do like the same kind of session, or if you want a different format. So talk to me. I do answer all questions. And if you ever need to reach me, go to, you can go right to your phone and just hit up ridingcounsel.com and click the call. And I'll be on the other end of the line, hanging out, talking with you. And I think that's going to be it for this episode of Riding Counsel Podcast. But we are going to come back with some other interesting episodes, and I really want you guys to take a listen. We got things like Danger Invites Rescue. We have more questions and answers to help you pass a test. We have lots and lots of stuff. And if you go over some of my prior podcasts, I'm sure you're going to find that helpful too. But until next time, Millian, I think you and I are done here. And I want to thank you for being the guinea pig.
My pleasure, man. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, follow the whole deal, and keep it going. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
All right, everybody, ride free, ride safe, ride wild, but, do so legally. Take care, everyone. And that's a wrap for this episode of Riding Counsel with Richard Jaffe. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the ride, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your fellow riders. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and ride safe.